Hello everybody, Chris with Rocks here. Let's show you a board game. Two other members I know from YouTube also show you this board game, but I figured I'll go ahead and share it as well. A YouTube member named NEStalgiaholic. His name is John. He was one that showed you this video. Biff from BiffsGamingVideos also showed you this. And Gunstar Hero 777 also showed you this video. These are who they are, and if you want to look them up, that also show you this game. But I'm gonna also show this to you, like why not? This is Zaxxon. It's by Sega, made for the Milton Bradley Board Game. This version. Zaxxon was also from also available on Atari, ColecoVision, Mattel's Intellivision, Commodore 64, Apple computers, and of course on the arcade. Sega also had some game systems before. There was also a spin-off called Super Zaxxon, but it didn't last as well as Zaxxon, the regular version. This is ages 7 to 14. It should be ages 8 and up. For this game, be the first player to target enemy targets and defeat Zaxxon, just like in the board game. Great Milton Bradley Board. Let's take a look. This is the board itself. We're going to show you everything for as long as I can. 26 free spare minutes. Okay, that's the board itself. Before I get out, the stuff, I'll show you what we have. This is the Outer Fortress Player 1, Outer Fortress Player 2. Then they meet together, and this is the Inner Fortress, and there's your end. So we'll go close. There's Player 1. So this is a two-player game, by the way, so you have to have two ships. This is Player 2's, or Player 1's second shift, Player 1's first shift. They go high and they go low, just like in the video game. I played the version for the Atari, I played the version for ColecoVision, and I played the version from the arcade. Not all of them played the same, by the way. Some had different characters, and such. So if you look on YouTube, search for Zaxxon. Yeah, search Zaxxon on it. You'll see many of the versions, and you'll see what I mean. In the Atari version, the ColecoVision version, the arcade version, all that. Speaking of here's Player 2's planes. They have a first and a second player as well. I might seem boring at this, but I figured it'd be nice to go detailed about the game as I can for those who would like to order this from eBay. They don't make these games anymore, by the way. This game came from 1983, and Zaxxon itself was in 1982, first in the arcades and on your Atari and your ColecoVision, your Intellivision, and Commodore or Apple, and of the arcade, all of them. Okay. We also have walls. One goes here. One goes over here. Let's show you. Okay, one of the. Okay. These are walls. Oh, DerSchmu is little walls. One goes here. Sorry about that. One goes here. And one goes here. I think on the one by NEStalgiaholic, he claims that one of them is like goes like one goes under and one goes over. But from what I'm seeing on the version that I have, player 1 and player 2 both goes over the wall. On what I have. Let's show you the fuels. There's 2 blue fuels and 2 red fuels. One fuel will go here. Another blue fuel will go here. There's 2 red fuels as well. One red fuel will go here. The other red fuel will go over here. And the game also has 4 gun turrets. One goes here. One goes here. One goes here. And one goes over here. Okay. Missile silos, where you got 4 of those. Oh, I beg your pardon, I put them in the wrong place. The gun turrets go over here. I put them in the wrong place. Gun turrets go here. And gun turret goes here. Gun turret goes over here. Yeah, I noticed in the gun turret goes over here. Okay, now they match. Missile silos go, including one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. So sorry if I got boring, if we got off to a poor start. And we got one more piece. This is the Zaxxon himself. I think it's a him or a itself. This is who you need to destroy to win the game. There's the backside. We'll put him on the backside. He goes over here. So now here's all your things. And the game also has 2 dice. I'll tell you about that in a moment. And we have a spinner. So this is everything that's here on the board. We're going to tell you about how this game plays for quite a bit of time. Or we're going to try to anyway, but as you see everything on the board, that's how the game is played. And of course this game has an instruction booklet. Be the first player to destroy your enemy targets and shoot Zaxxon with both of your fighter planes. So yeah, that said you have to have 2 of them. It's such. But like I said, this is similar to your. It might not be the same as your game, but it's like I said, it's the base. It matches the basic. Like you said, you have you try to destroy the Zaxxon. It's like that in every video game. If you play the Atari 2600 version, the Zaxxon is like a hangman version. If you played the ColecoVision version, the Zaxxon has like 2 Mobot heads. Getting like this, And you know, your arcade has, you know, this Zaxxon that looks just basically similar to this, or maybe something like this, basically in the arcade game. So yeah, like I said, various versions, not all play the same way, but I didn't mean to confuse you if I did, but like I said, it's played there's very different types of versions of the game, the video game, and of course this board game. So yeah, the contents: 4 fighter planes with bases, we got that out. 4 brick walls, 2 short and 2 long. These are the long ones, these are the short ones. 4 gun turrets, that's one right there. 2 dice, that's this. 1 spinner, that's this. 1 instruction booklet, that's this. 4 fuel tanks, 2 blue ones here and 2 red ones over there. 4 missile silos. 1 Zaxxon pawn, they call this a Zaxxon pawn. 1 game board, that's the game board. And 1 label sheet. Whatever it is. Okay. Based on the flag surface, this is on a flat surface. And so one figure is going to show you how to move the Zaxxon, because when your players, player 1 and when one of your players 1 or player 2 is inside this radar going this way, you see the words that says radar on it, go down. If your players are inside this range, this can move Zaxxon. So if you spin something here and it says Z, then the Zaxxon can move. So like I said, when the plane crosses the radar barrier that I just showed you, Zaxxon is alerted and immediately activated. And Zaxxon is ready to move, shoot and attack fire planes. This bear I mentioned directs when Zaxxon is moved for the remainder of that game. When a player who rolled a lower number of when the player who rolls the lower number spins the spinner and a Z is spun, he or she with the lowest number must move the Zaxxon like here, or here, or here, or here, or here, or like this, or like this, but not like this, not like this, not like this. So as it faces this way, like, so it can go anywhere like here, any one of these ranges, and can go this way as well, or this way as well. That's how that works. So yeah, after moving the Zaxxon, the player who's just rolled the lowest number also moves your planes by the same die count. That's how that works. So we say Zaxxon can move sideways from the right to left, as I showed you. Or Zaxxon can move diagonally backwards to the right or left. So actually Zaxxon can basically stay there. That's how that works. Yeah. It was NEStalgiaholic that said he can go this way or this way, but then when I looked at this, Zaxxon has to stay this way, like I'm showing you right here. That's how it works. So we just, let's say that version will leave it at that. Okay, so Zaxxon cannot move out of the Zaxxon there. He cannot move out of the white. And it only moves as you die count of the player who rolls the lowest number and spins the Z in this spinner. That's how the Zaxxon moves. I know I'm not doing this in orders, but just going like this. So actually, the blue fuel tanks. Okay. Referring to yeah, I showed you how that works. Applying the stuff, you know, the fuel tanks, the missile silos, and fuel tanks. So they're on the board right there. So I did that. When it said marked by the letter, they didn't tell me what level. So yeah, missile silos, by the way, are in the orange colored platforms, while the gun turrets in the blue colored platforms. Like, although all these are in blue color, but I'm talking about the trimming. So yeah, your mission. Your team of fighters must shoot 2 fuel tanks, 1 gun turret, and 1 missile silo in your outer fortress, and 2 fuel tanks in your inner fortress, and each plane must shoot Zaxxon. That's how that works. Now, rolling the die at the same time. One player rolls 1 die, which is a 5. The second player rolls a die of 2. That means player 2 gets the advance. So on each turn, the player rolling the lower number on the die always plays first. Then the player rolling the higher number plays second. The player rolling the number spins the spinner, just like I showed you. The spinner control enemy fire directed fire planes from missile silos and gun turrets. Later in the game, that spinner would also move to move in his Zaxxon. When I showed you that radar thing close up in that earlier in the video. I apologize if I didn't record this in order. I'm just trying to summarize it and you know, spending time on this, showing you the game. So when red, let's see, when red has spun any plane, yeah, okay. If you split on the red, and if the player 2 spins red on this wheel here, any plane that's in that area in the missile silo gets shot down and has to go back to start. And I'll show you another example in the gun turrets. Like if blue spins blue here, and if player 2 was in the gun turret range, the gun turret would shoot Contain a gun turret. Same situation. Get shoot down back to start as well. If a missile silo or a gun turret has been shot or removed from the board, there is no enemy fire, so any planes in those areas are safe. So yeah, missile silo is surrounded by a red border, and the gun turrets are surrounded by the blue border. By the way, if you spun white on the spinner, all planes are safe, by the way. And so yeah, same situation. So player 1, you want to go try to shoot this missile silo before red spins, or before the player 2 spins the red on the spinner, before the missile silo will destroy you. Same with player 2, that it wants to shoot the gun turret before player 1 spins blue on that wheel. If that happens, so you want to shoot these down, and you want to shoot that fuel tank and get to these walls, or should we say the first high wall as well. Okay. So how a plane moves, the plane can move this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, or this way. Same right direction with those hexagons. Okay. Like I'm playing in direction on the same space, then once on the same turn. A plane cannot pass over or land on a space occupied by another plane. A fighter plane can fly at high altitude or low altitude by raising or lowering it on its base. Each change in altitude counts as 1 on your die count. Your plane must be on low altitude to shoot the target, and high altitude to cross a roll. So like you want to roll like a 2, you say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this counts as a space, by the way. And of course you have to be high to go over the wall, but you can't stop at the wall, you have to pass the wall. And of course you also got to shoot these down, that other fuel down, before you reach in the inner fortress. So let's say we shot the missile silo down and this gun turret down for player 1, and they shot these blue fuel tanks. So the fuel tank will go here and here, and player 2 will shoot a gun turret here and a missile silo over here, and move this blue tank here, or they're red tanks here, and go over here. And in this board game version, everybody goes, you have to go high again to go over to these small walls. For this to go up just like it says. Now, so crossing walls. Your plane can cross the wall only at a low section and must fly at high altitude when it crosses the wall. Your plane cannot land on the top of the wall, so you have enough moves on the die to move across the wall in one turn. The wall counts as 1 space on your die count. If your plane is shot down, you're outer force by an enemy missile silo or gun turret, move your plane from the board and return back to your home base, just like I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, I'm also reading besides going through. Like I said, we basically know the basics, but I figured I better recap and get into detail if I'm able to. Now, let's talk about the inner fortress. The outer fortress, we can, and the outer fortress. So When your plane crosses those short walls, as we've seen here, it leaves the outer fortress and enters the inner fortress. Your plane's move, change altitude, and shoot at the inner fortress the same way as you did in the outer fortress. Like I said, your planes must shoot fuel tank tanks to the color in the inner fortress, and each of your planes must shoot Zaxxon once. When you shoot a fuel tank, remove it from the board. When one of your planes shoots Zaxxon, its mission is completed. Remove your plane for the inner fortress and place your home base. Move Zaxxon back to the space labeled Zaxxon. That's the main summary of the inner fortress. This is called a dogfight area, so player 1 can start a battle with player 2. Now, if you get shot or something, you don't go back to start. You go to the restart at the edge of your outer fortress by the wall. So you just start here instead of starting back to the main start. So the red will do the same thing right here. That's how that works. Now, now enter the dogfight into this radar. There is a radar bay called radar across your dogfight. On your turn, you can move your plane across the radar barrier only if you roll a higher number on the die than your opponent. If you roll a lower number, your plane cannot cross the barrier, but you can shoot through the radar no matter what number you roll. And then, like I said, there's little missile silos you can shoot down. I'm not going to go detailed on it like I did before. And then, yeah, shoot these fuel tanks down. And then these gun turrets and missile silo you cannot shoot down. They're invincible. They stay right where they're at. So if you land on these areas, the missile silo or that can shoot you just like they did in the outer fortress. And let's get to we'll go to that finale. We'll put player 2 together. So like I said, if the missile silo or gun turrets shoot you from there, you go back to those restarts that I showed you before. So even Zaxxon could also shoot you as well. If Zaxxon shoots the missiles at you, you die and go back to the restart as well. Your plane's got to shoot Zaxxon once to win the game. And once you win the game is over. And if you'd like to play again, go ahead and play again. But that's the basic of the games, is to get in the outer fortress, get in the inner fortress, go to Zaxxon with both of your planes, shoot the Zaxxon once, and you win the game. There you have it. This is Zaxxon the board game by Sega, a Milton Bradley board game. This is Crestwood Rocks. Thank you for watching, and that is it.